Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Joe, and it's time for the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. I'm joined today by Matt Anaya of The Volume. Matt, how's your beautiful Tuesday starting? It's hard to think it's Tuesday already.
Yeah, it's not moving fast enough, but yeah, it's a beautiful Tuesday. Like I'm looking at Chicago right now, and it's 4:30, and I got tickets to the Cubs game, so it's going to be 30 degrees tonight. So if you're taking the under, it might be an underplay with it's going to be a cold one tonight.
You taking the Cubs to get the win as well?
I would like to. They're facing Snell, the Pods. The Pods are very talented. I think they come out of the gate a little slow. Like if I was betting anything tonight, and I probably will in a bit here, but it's Dinger Tuesday at FanDuel, and I think I'm taking Nelson Velasquez to hit a home run tonight. So,
ooh, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Now, Matt, honestly, can you actually go to a game, watch a game in person without having some sort of bet on it?
I could back in the day, and that's kind of changing over the years for sure. Like I said, I don't have any bets other than my boy Nelly Velasquez, and I will place more bets, I'm sure, especially after a pregame festivities and all that stuff too. So yeah, it's a lot harder these days to just go to a game than it has been.
Okay, I just want to quickly judge how competitive are you. So in what kind of situations are you betting with your friends? Like if you guys are going out for a guys' night, are you betting on the games that you're watching versus each other? Are you betting on who's going to drink the most beers, that kind of thing? What are you guys betting on?
You name it for real. Betting again, it's like there's so many options and so many things to bet on. It's not really going against each other. We might be on opposite sides, but hey, if somebody wants to bet against me drinking beers, I'll take that bet all day. So
I like it, Matt. Well, I really appreciate you joining me here today. I want to talk a little bit about you and how you got started in the industry, what you've got going on, what you're doing with The Volume. So could you firstly let everyone know where they can find you, where they can follow you, and then also how you got started with The Volume and what you got going on there?
Of course. And Joe, I've got questions for you too, because you're working hard. You're a hustler. You're a grinder too. So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, Matt Anaya. I got to say the name a little slow, Matthew Anaya. When I'm wearing a collared shirt, I go by Matthew sometimes. But at Matt Anaya on Twitter, Instagram, you name it. It could be MATT.ANAYA. It could be MATANAYA. At Matt Anaya. You'll find me. I'm the goofy looking redhead guy. How I got started is a great question. So I started at ESPN May 17th, 2010. And I've been thankfully employed ever since then. I knock on wood. My 13-year work anniversary is coming up. I'm not at ESPN anymore. That was a dream job. I'm a sports nerd, a sports dork, an ESPN dork, you name it, still to this day. So what was it? May 17, 2010 was my first day in Bristol. I lived in Bristol. I still have Bristol friends. I did that for a couple of years. They moved me out to Los Angeles for ESPN LA. Still there. ESPN Sports Center, all that fun stuff. Did that for a couple of years. Moved to San Francisco for another job. And then I was kind of stuck in a rut there for a little bit in San Francisco. Did that for 3.5 years. And then summer of 2019, I saw a post for BR betting, summer of 2019. And then I hit up one of my smartest friends. He was pre-med. And I said, you're going to write my cover letter.
I love it.
And that's my number one advice. Yeah. Find your smartest friend and have them write your cover letter. So I got a job with BR Betting, and I did that for 6 months. Was lucky enough to land at CBS Sports and SportsLine right after that for a couple of years. And now I'm at The Volume. My 1-year anniversary was 5 days ago. So now I'm at The Volume, creating content, sports betting. I run the Volume Bets Instagram page. I produce the Moneyline Monaco podcast. My boy Alex Monaco, he's on Twitter, he's on Instagram, he's all over the place.
I love Alex.
Firing on anything and everything. That's why we love Alex. But Monaco's a great guy. I love working with him and the squad at Volume. It's been a lot of fun. I've only been there for a year, and hopefully we can continue the success there.
Well, congratulations on your 1-year anniversary with them.
Definitely anniversary's coming up, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a phenomenal company to be in. What do you think your biggest challenge has been since you've been at The Volume?
The biggest challenge at The Volume is normalizing sports betting content. It's still a little, you have I work for Colin Cowherd, and we're always talking NBA. We're always talking NFL. sports betting is a little bit different. We're talking from a different angle. Not everyone's interested in that, but we're trying to normalize it as best we can, as quickly as we can, of course. That is a big challenge. And I would say the market is just super saturated. You're giving me on, I'm on your podcast now. Anyone, can appear on a podcast, including some bozo like myself or whatever, you know what I mean? So the market is very saturated right now, and it's just standing out. And we were talking before the show, Joe, and it's all about grinding. It's all about being passionate about what you love and pedal to the metal. So it's not easy to stand out, and you got to take every opportunity you can to stand out. And that's why I'm talking to you, and I'm grateful and thankful that you had me on your show.
Oh, it's an absolute honor to have you on. And you're so right. It's all about the grind each and every day. Is that the best advice you can give anyone looking to break into this market? It's a daily grind, giving it all you have each and every day?
Daily grind. Absolutely. No days off. I had some success at SportsLine, and I would say it was during COVID, and there was nothing to bet on. There was no sports really, but I had plenty of time to come up with content. I was, 18 months of just staying inside pretty much really helped SportsLine grow. And it's all about that grind like we were talking about. A lot of people don't want to do it. Some days I don't want to do it, but if you go no days off, something's going to pop and opportunity is going to come up for you.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no days off in this industry, that's for sure. But there's so many changes. There's so many things people are looking at it differently in the market. It's becoming more acceptable to be in this industry. Did you always tell people you were involved in the industry since you got into it? Because it was kind of taboo at one point. Like, what were people thinking that you were really doing in this industry?
My parents still have no idea what I do for a living anyway. I think it's just kind of an evolution. Like 13 years ago when I started at ESPN, I was cutting baseball highlights. Like you turn on ESPN now, you don't see a baseball highlight. You barely see a highlight. You know what I mean? So it's just the evolution. There's a lot of money coming in from the sports books and the casinos. They're partners with leagues and stuff like that right now. I mean, you see the NFL and the sports book, the Lions players, they got suspended for betting on sports. I don't at the facility or near the facility or something like that. So the casinos and the sports books are working directly with the teams and the leagues and stuff like that. So I think it's just an evolution. I think you're starting to see a lot more sports betting content on ESPN, on Fox, on all the major networks, and we're just getting started too. Like I've been in the sports betting business, media business for 3.5 years now, and it's only growing, and it's only going to continue that way.
What changes are you hoping to see within the industry, Matt? Because there's so many things that are evolving right now. What's one thing that you'd like to really see change?
More females involved, whether it be on-air talent, whether it be sports betting, whether it be, getting them more familiar with betting on sports and bet. Like, some people think baseball is boring. I love baseball. I do think it's boring. It's moving faster these days, but throw $5 on a guy to hit a home run, or my dad's never placed a bet in his life. And, I'll tell my dad I got $5 on something, to make the game a little bit more interesting. And then he becomes more interested in it too. So one thing I want to see is more females involved for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've talked a lot of my friends into just placing that $5 bet on these teams. And now they love watching the game. It's changed marriages. Like, to be honest, my friends are like, yeah, now we're watching with our husbands because they've got $5 riding on it, even if it's just between each other. So it is good to see the industry changing and more women coming into it and enjoying sports betting. But Matt, what got you into your love of sports? Did you grow up a huge sports fan?
Of course. Big sports fan. I'll blame my older brother. I'm going to blame him for a lot of things, especially my sports fandoms. I'm from Chicago, so I'm a Cubs fan. Not easy being a Cubs fan. I'm a Bears fan. Not easy being a Bears fan. I blame my brother for both of those. Even my dad makes fun of us still to this day because he's a baseball guy. So he makes fun of the Cubs more than anything. Chicago's a great sports town. We love our sports. We love our teams. They all stink, unfortunately, but Michael Jordan was a big thing. I'm an old man. I'm 40. So I watched Michael Jordan growing up as a kid. And he's a big influence on my, sports passion for watching sports and enjoying sports.
Matt, I got to ask you, do you think the basketball players these days are pretty soft compared to the MJ days?
It's a different game for sure. They don't let you play defense like that anymore, and it is good for the game. Now, there are there are regular season games where it's 150 to 145. You're not going to see that tonight. You're not going to see that in the NBA playoffs. The regular season is a little bit different. It's called completely different. I think you look at the NBA playoffs, it's 100 to 98, it's 102, 98, stuff like that. So I think you're not getting away with the Bill Laimbeer type fouls. You're not getting away with the monster fouls like that anymore. And that's good for the game. I think they need to get rid of charges as well, by the way. You got Ja Morant going up for monster dunks and people taking his legs out and stuff like that. We got to get rid of that too. So it is a different game. I'm not going to call them softer. I think they're much more talented than anything right now.
Okay, I like the way that you worded that. Definitely a nice way to go around not saying any of the players are soft these days.
I'm not doing that. They're too good. They're unbelievable.
They are too good. But do you know what drives me crazy? When they sit and we don't see them in that load management. That drives me insane.
Yeah, load management's a tough one. Kawhi was a great example of load management, and he was putting up all these points, and then he was unfortunately injured again. So load management's a tough one. You don't really see it in the playoffs, thankfully. I think Paul George is coming back soon if they advance. Joel Embiid, he's got a hurt knee, and he's going to give it a go. You look at Giannis a couple years ago. His leg went the opposite direction. He came back 2 games later. So I'm not calling those guys soft.
No, you definitely don't want to call them soft. Okay, so Chicago Bears.
Oh,
you got a draft. We got to talk about your Bears.
Whatever you want. Yeah, whatever you want. I'm ready.
What are your hopes for this season? Do you have a draft pick that you're looking to isolate? Is there someone that you've targeted that you want? Or what are your hopes for the team for the upcoming season other than winning? Just got to win.
Exactly. Just win, baby. I'll start with my expectations. I don't have too crazy of expectations. I'm just looking for 8 wins. They need to go to the playoffs. You know what I mean? We had the number 1 pick. We were the worst team. It was awful. For some reason, I watched every single game, probably because I bet on every single game. But last year was a tough watch. Justin Fields is just unbelievable. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC. I don't think he's better than Mahomes. I'd say Trevor Lawrence is pretty good. But other than that, Joe Burrow is pretty good too. So I do think he's better than Aaron Rodgers already. So that's why, as a Bears fan, I was like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is leaving. I was like, who cares? He's a bum. Like, Justin Fields is better. I wish I cared.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Need to ask you your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers.
It was anticlimactic. Like, I had 30 years of hell with Brett Favre too. Brett Favre, pretty good player. And back to back with Aaron Rodgers. It was 30 years of hell. And then by the end of it, Rodgers was so bad. It was like, we'd love to have you back, buddy. You're terrible. You know what I mean? So Justin Fields is better. High expectations for him. All I want is 8 wins in the playoffs. Like, that's not too much to ask for. Draft wise, I don't care. I think they're going to trade back again. I think they're going to I just think they're going to trade and acquire assets and stockpile picks. I love the draft. I'm going to have a great time during the draft, but I'm not going to say I know anything about these kids. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea who's a good offensive lineman. So
lots of faith, though, in Justin Fields. Lots of people questioning his abilities after coming out of Ohio State. We know we haven't had huge names coming out of Ohio State being able to make an impactful career, but you do have high hopes for him here.
Big time. And then I think C.J. Stroud is another Ohio State quarterback who's going to be a stud too. I don't know why he's falling on draft boards and Will Levis is going up. Will Levis stinks.
I don't know.
I don't understand it. C.J. Stroud was a damn good quarterback at Ohio State. Dwayne Haskins was a damn good quarterback at Ohio State who was going to have a pretty good career. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Ohio State's getting a couple years ago, we were making fun of Alabama quarterbacks, and now those quarterbacks are doing just fine. So I think Ohio State will be just fine with their quarterbacks.
So are you a Buckeye fan as well, or no?
Heck no.
Who's your college team?
Well, my father went to Purdue, so I'm born and raised Purdue. I'm looking at a Purdue banner right in front of my face here. So I'm a Purdue basketball fan as well. So that was a tough march there. Just Purdue, really. I'm in Chicago. It's Big Ten country, so you run into Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa. It's the Big Ten capital of Chicago. So it's a lot of fun to live in Chicago during college football season, college basketball season.
Okay, that's great to hear. Purdue. Hey, I almost take a little bit of insult to say heck no to Ohio State. You don't know I'm a Buckeye fan. I love the Buckeye.
I have a bunch of questions for you too, Joe, because I want to learn about your journey. Maybe we can do it another time. But I did not know you were a Buckeye gal. The Ohio State's a lot of fun to watch on football, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And that rivalry with Michigan, even being up here in Canada, you still feel it up here. There's a couple of Buckeye fans hanging around the city of Calgary. But okay,
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Real quick. So dumb question. Do you guys get college football games in Canada?
Yeah, we do. So we get
All
all
the
the
major
American
ones?
feeds.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Cool.
do. So
That was a dumb question.
I upgrade and pay for everything on my channel. So I get a lot more
True
than
sports
most
fan.
people. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I want to talk about the NBA playoffs with you, but first I want to know if you could be best friends with one athlete, who would it be? Who do you think you'd get along with best out there?
Giannis. It'd be either Giannis or LeBron. Giannis, LeBron, and Curry are my guys. I'm an old man. It's hard for me to say I have a favorite athlete. I don't wear jerseys. I don't do any of that stuff, but I do watch them and I do admire them for sure. LeBron's been unbelievable for 20 years, still producing at a high rate. Last night was crazy, obviously. LeBron, and then Giannis is just the biggest sweetheart in the NBA, and then Curry's a pretty nice guy himself too. Curry could teach me some golf. LeBron could teach me about life, and Giannis, I'll just joke around. We'll go to Chick-fil-A and order a 50-piece or something.
Yeah, talking about golf, we know the Chicago Blackhawks are already out golfing. Are you a Blackhawks fan as well? Yeah, they must be.
I would say more general hockey than I'm not like the biggest Blackhawks fan in the world. I lived in LA, I lived in San Francisco, and I lived in Vegas. All three great hockey teams, hockey experiences. Chicago's a great hockey experience too. So I would just say in general, hockey fan, and the playoffs are awesome as well.
Oh yeah, playoff hockey is definitely where it's at. Some great games on the board, but great games on the board tonight. You've got any NBA that you're betting tonight?
All right, so last night was crazy. You had the Bucks didn't cover, that hurt me, and then I woke up to a Lakers cover. So no, I don't think I have anything tonight. I'm going over my notes right here. I have a baseball bet. White Sox over 3.5 runs. That's from my CBS SportsLine folks. I don't have any picks for tonight, but I do have series bets. Like I got the Lakers at plus money to win that, plus 108, plus 120. Looking good. I think they're minus 600 now, so that's looking good. Joe, do you think the Bucks are going to win that series? They're down 3-1. They're plus 110. Do you think the Bucks are going to come back and win that series?
Yeah, the Bucks should be able to come back and win that series. I'm really looking at the Heat, and I just don't think they can continue to pull this off. We know the Milwaukee Bucks are the deeper team here. I'm actually shocked it's 3-1. I really did expect it to be the other way. And Jimmy Butler just been making a day of it. So we'll see what happens in the next game. But I do think Milwaukee ends up coming back.
You should take them plus 110 right now at the local FanDuel shop for me. I took them at plus 128 earlier today and moved down to plus 110. I still believe in the Bucks. Giannis is my guy. I love that guy. The one thing I do want to talk about is Brook Lopez's overs have hit like cash for me like crazy. He was at 14.5 last night, 15.5. Doesn't matter. He had 35 or something like that. He hit it in the first half. So keep an eye on that Brook Lopez over points. Another shout out to my CBS SportsLine guys. They hooked me up on that one. I've been riding that one pretty well. And if Brook Lopez is under 20, you should hammer the over on that. I don't understand why it's not 20.5. He's been crushing these 14 and 15.5s.
Yeah, I love that. Who do you think comes out of the Kings and Golden State? We know there's been another injury with the Kings. What are you thinking there? I
saw Fox is going to play, but I'm not a big believer in the Kings at all. I work for The Volume, Draymond Green's podcast. Just won an award today, best sports podcast out there. He calls it the Warriors Invitational. It is still the Warriors Invitational, the NBA playoffs, until further notice. So I do think we're going to see Curry versus LeBron. Mm-hmm. That's all I don't care who wins the NBA title. I just want to see Curry versus LeBron, and then hopefully Durant and the Suns versus whoever wins that. And that's all I'm here for, is to have fun, watch the NBA. I love watching those guys play. So
yeah, it's going to be a great playoff next couple of weeks. We've got a couple more weeks left. I can't wait to see who takes the national championship. Who would you think would take it now?
The NBA championship?
The NBA championship.
Oh man, that's so tough. That's I don't even have a futures bet really. I've just been going series by series. How about I say the winner of the Lakers Warriors series wins the NBA title? How about that?
I like that.
I don't even know if that's going to happen. I'm just going to say, you know what I mean? So
wouldn't you love to see LeBron go all the way this year?
I didn't know you're a LeBron gal. Good to hear. Like I don't understand the LeBron hate. Like I'm from Chicago. I can be upset and be angry at LeBron. And anyone that plays him and run into him, like the Bulls would run into. For 10 years, he would beat the Bulls, 10 straight years or whatever, in Cleveland and Miami. So I have a right to dislike LeBron, and even I don't even hate him. So I'm glad you're a LeBron fan. I don't understand the hatred towards the guy. He's been a lot of fun to watch for the last 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Matt, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. What goals are you pursuing right now? What is on the future horizons for you?
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Well, thanks for having me on the show, of course. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I like to have fun on TikTok specifically.
Oh, I'm going to find you on TikTok. I love this.
We'll do that. I think I follow you. Yeah, we'll talk more.
Yeah.
What are my goals? I don't know. Be on more podcasts with you and our boy Joe. Just branch out a little bit more, create some more opportunity for myself. This business is really hard. It's really hard to survive. You got to keep creating. You got to keep thinking of the next move and then the next step. So it never stops. We talk about the grind. We talk about the hustle. It never stops, and you got to keep going. Otherwise, you're in trouble, and you're going to get passed up. I'll figure something out. I don't know specific examples for you, but I'll figure something out, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, it was an absolute pleasure having you on today, learning more about what you've got going on, everything you're doing. Let everyone know one more time where that follow is on all social media, Matt.
Of course. Thank you, Joe. Yeah. At Matt Anaya. Twitter, Instagram is MATANAYA. And then TikTok is Matt.Anaya. So find me, just look up my name. I'm the goofy looking redhead dude. I'll be at the Cubs game if anybody's going to the Cubs game. Hopefully Nelson Velasquez can hit a home run off Blake Snell tonight. Nelson Velasquez crushes left-handed pitching.
If he hits a home run, are you buying beers for everyone?
I will buy whoever wants. Yeah, whoever comes up, whoever hits me up. We'll get. They sell beer bats at Wrigley Field now, so we'll get a beer bat together.
I love it. You guys look for Matt tonight at the game. You guys have a good one. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast.
Thanks, Joe.